Good day, welcome back to my green. It is the time of the year again that I'm showing you around my fig tree. This season I'm very exciting because my trees are really ahead of time. I also add a few varieties to my collection, but I'm going to show you later on in the video. But first, let's just start with the Black Madeira right here. For Black Madeira, I have 3 trees all day. One over here, right next to it another one, and one more over here. It's a nice growing tree. This two is more of the weeping habits, but the one that really ahead of anything else is really this one. Let me show you some of the figlet that it already put out. One tiny figlet on this branch. Moving on to the bigger branch, also have double bulb here, so one is for sure a figlet, and a few more figlet along the nodes. And if that's not impressive enough, let me move a little bit to the same tree but a little different branch. It put out even a bigger figlet right here. That I know for sure going to ripe no later than first week of September, and that's what the goal really is, because we still want to get it ripe when there's still a lot of heat. And same thing with this branch. I'm excited for this season, really exciting. Let's move on to the next one, not really far away from Black Madeira either. This one is a Figo Preto. It's also a nice shape of the tree, but a little overcrowded branch. For this season, I'm going to leave it as it is. I don't really have any plan with this tree yet. And again, many other people, they say Figo Preto and Black Madeira seem to be same variety. And it didn't produce any figlet just yet, but I just pinched it top yesterday, so in about a few weeks maybe the result we'll see if it works or not. Right next to the left is a white Madeira number 1. So this tree last season it produced some fruits, but it didn't ripe any of it because when I transplanted it earlier in the season, in the spring, it got soaked and it didn't do that great. And for this season, it's not really doing that hot either. It seemed to be a very slow grower for me. But hey, who can complain about slow growing or not if it produced fruit already? See, this one already put out figlet. And this one I'm not going to pinch either. I leave it alone, let it do its own thing, because it already put out figlet. And for the JHR type, you know, the green skin and strawberry red puff, they seem to be ripening just fine later in the season. So this one I hope to try this fruit this season. I hope they don't split on me. Moving on lower down here, it's a Calderona Roja. It's grow quite well also. Love to branch out. I cut the middle trunk, the middle branch, and left the surrounded branch. But it also put out like a 2 or 3 shoot on every single branch. And this variety last season it's quite productive, but none of it ripe properly, so it's also a loser last season. But this season you have to produce for me because I already pinched it, and hope the pinching magic is working. Right next to it, the opposite one is Calderona Blanc. This one is same thing. I got from the same seller as a white Madeira number 1, and it seemed to be very slow. Same thing also. I don't know if that seller have the secret magic to keep my tree slow, or just my thumb is not green enough. I don't know.
but I like this shape. Last season I have 2 branches, and I try to separate and make it into a nice looking tree shape. Because I'm growing pot, I have to be very careful with my tree shape. I cannot just let it neglect and hope for the best now. I have to pay attention. Right down this smaller tree is a Calderona gigantina. So it literally the plus side of the Calderona belong, because it produces a big fruit, at least regard to the Calderona family. So this one is I received it also late in the season last season, so it's not really much to grow, and it just put out a little grow, and I'm just too excited to try it out, so I just finished already. Next one is a Proto Dome Roja. This variety last season it produced fruits, but it didn't ripe well for me. So this season I already pinched it, and it's not bad. It grows well. Okay, now we move on to the Ramada type. So this is still a Calderona. It's a Calderona Ramada. We have 2 trees here, one here, and right next to the left here, also a Calderona Ramada. It's a very late for me, or at least last season it didn't produce any fruit for me. There is no fruit or any figlet it putting out yet, so I already pinched all of the tips. Again, hope for the magic to happen in about few weeks. For this tree, these 2 trees, right, the Calderona Ramada, it get hit. It seems to be wake up and grow faster than many other varieties here, but it also the leaf gets some damage from the cool spring air that we get like in about a week or 2. We had some cool, really cool air. It's almost like freezing, and the cool air with the cool night temperature, it caused some damage to the leaf. And as you can see here, it's like shredded. But now seems to be getting warm. It's bounce back just fine. Moving on to another Ramada, this one Martinega Ramada. This one also a late variety, but it's very productive. For my first season tree, it produced plenty, like 7-8 fruits, and that I call plenty. And it's small tree, it's not that big, but this season it started to put out some grow a little better now, and also branch out a lot too. Maybe overcrowded. Again, after this season, I'm gonna do some pruning to get it shape. And this one, again and again, I just pinch it because I don't want it to just fruit a lot, but late in the season that there's not enough heat, that end up to be wasted. So now I pinch. Hopefully, in a few weeks, it start to put out figlet, and it has the heat to ripe some of its fruit, if not all. Because I really want this variety to work out, because it's just beautiful, you know, have nice variegated figs and beautiful pulp. So finger crossed for this one. Okay, right next to it, the last Ramada in my collection is the Paracho Ramada. This, when people say, oh, Black Madeira is slow grower. Well, for my case, I think this one is even slower. At least my Black Madeira, it start to grow, you know, much better than the rest of the tree. Some of the tree that I see in the internet, that yeah, they really slow. But if you give them enough space, like mine, I give them 10 gallon right away, so it gets some space to grow freely, at least for a young tree, right? And it's just fine. It grows just fine. But this doesn't matter. I put 10 gallon or same thing, right? But look how much it really grows. And it just look at the node spacing. It's less than an inch. Let's say an inch each. It's so tight, so slow. And today they it doesn't have any figlets. But I don't pinch this variety, because I just want this sucker to grow it because he the boss or she is the boss because she doesn't want to grow. Let her do her own thing. Maybe no Paracho Ramada this season to eat, but it's fine as long as they establish. They are always the next season. Okay, move on to the next variety is my more expensive by now. Maybe all of you already know what is it. It's a Montagna Verdes. It's a green fig. Last season it produced 2 fruits, small one. Maybe the tree is still young. It's not really a vigor grower, quite slow. At least for my growing style. Some people they maybe disagree. But this season, instead of putting out grow, they put out a lot of fruits. Look, it's quite a few figlet already. Then, and I'm excited to try this one also because I still believe this one is a great variety. Last season, it not impressed me that much, but the same thing. I think because my fault, my side, because even the Smith, many people raving about it. I feel like it's not really that good. But I think I figured out now because last season it's really overwatering. But let's see what it's gonna hold for this tree. But so far so good, exciting. Doing great with the figlet here. Next up is a thermometer. This one is very exciting also. It already put out 1 figlet. And that is exciting. I'm always excited about my fig because I'm really enjoy doing this hobby. And the thermometer is quite productive. It's 1, 2 on this small branch and 1 big here. So it just put out already a few, but the tree seem to be start to grow slowly. It's more about get the side of the trunk rather than the height of it. Looking good, this one. On the opposite side is a ginormous variety. This one is a really bigger one of the shoot. Look how big, how bigger this variety or this shoot is. This one also. It's just really well nice. This one is the zone warm ground. I have 2 of them. This one doing well, but it's the same branch, but you know, just like on this side, it's not doing that hot either. So I don't know because fig mosaic virus or the genetic of this variety, but this variety I really enjoyed its fruit last season. Despite it, I think it produced only 1 or 2 fruits. I'm not sure, yeah, but in any case, it's not produced good at all. Either 1 or 2, that's all I remember. But oh boys, it's one of the best, if not the best. It's just beautiful, and good side also the fig. And this season, I really have high hope with it. And right into it, this one also the zone warm ground. I got it from a different source, so it might be the mother tree from different source have different effect on the virus. If I remember, last season it also displayed this kind of sickness, and I'm sick of this thing because I pay a lot for this one and not really doing that hard. Maybe it takes some year to really establish itself and get rid of the mosaic virus. But as far as I remember, this tree doesn't produce any fruit last season. Hopefully, if this one not produce this season again, maybe the next one. Moving to the left is Violette Nursery. This variety last season it produced a few fruit, but it didn't ripe good for me, and it ended up all loose. And for this season, it already start to put out figlets. 1 here, 2. I can see 2 figlets already on this branch. Moving on to the bigger branch, also start to put out figlet also. Moving on to the next one. This is probably the the least expensive variety that I acquire. It's a Violette Nursery. I have three tree all day. It's put out a lot of fruit. Let me show you this. Quite a few breva they produce. On this branch, it got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 there. And up here, it's a main crop. And can you see it? This seems to be double crop. And it's not the first tree that do it, but that's for me, for my tree, the only one tree that it seems to be put out double fruit or double figlets, and that's exciting. On this side also, look, main crop all over the place, every node now. Really nice, but weirdly enough, this branch has no breva. But lower down here, I got a few more breva and also main crop. This variety seems to be underrated, probably because it's very affordable and very common. Now, move on to the biggest tree in the entire pot here. This one is I258. Look at the breva it produced already. It's look great. It has 4 of them, so 4 branches, 4 breva. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. One more there, and there's 1 more. And lower here is I don't know what you call it, a breva or not, but it was main crop from last season. And when I put them in the storage, I just leave it alone. I don't pull it out, and that's what it holds. Let's see, will it ever ripen or just the waste of energy that my tree have to feed them. In any case, this one really well, but the shape not really that good for a container. But I have planning to do something with this tree, so maybe I going to cut them back down for to get the shape, or I doing something else. And on the left here is the same variety. It's I2 also same source of same source. I got it, but this one I shaped them into a tree. I cut it off so it can branch out, and as you can see, the leaf, the branch, it's just really bigger. But there's no sign of a figlet or anything just yet, because it put a lot of energy to growing the green growth, but not a lot of energy to fruit production. But don't you worry, I already painted. So I say, hey, stop growing, put out fruit. Hopefully it listen to my comments. Next to it, even more bigger. This one is a super jumbo decay. Look how well the trunk or how well the branch this one is. It already put out some figlet down here, but I also paint the top. I paint it to stop, to slow down it bigger. And this has great shape, the tree. I cut off the top, and it branch out this way, and this way. It's really well shaped. And coming down, it also have really a good structure. Right here, I cut it in the winter. See, and it just branch out here, and branch out here. I pinch it, so to stop it to grow any further. Same thing like here. I enjoy controlling how it grows. On the left, not that impressive, but it's still growing good. This one is one of the most underrated. It's Sakura Black. When I received this variety, I don't really understand or know much about it, but the more I look into it, the more that I'm excited about it. It's produced a really dark, really nice color of pulp, and it's not the super hot or super expensive variety to acquire. Probably that's the main reason that some people don't really look into this variety. But I'm excited about this one. And look at the trunk. Sometimes I just enjoy look at the trunk. Like it's very chunky. It's like to put out the width rather than the height. And to me, it's fascinating. It's somehow like a bonsai. But anyway, I'm growing for food, not for trunk. And this tiny branch here, I just left it. I want to see what it's really about. And sure enough, it put a lot of a figlet on that side also. This one is Labrador. I also cut the top and look how slow it a wiggle of the tree. It's growing nice, but just slow. The reason because if you recall, this tree it was grafted on a celeste. Last season I spent a lot of the time trying to ungraft it. So I air layer the side and roots, right? And when it gets some root, I just cut it off, let the rootstock go on its own, and this one go on its own roots. Early in the spring, it still seems to be doesn't put out any shoot yet, while the rest start to leaf out very well already. But now it just start to growing. For this season, maybe I don't get any fruit again. Last season, I get 0. It dropped all of its crops, and this season, maybe it's not early enough. Maybe it doesn't have enough time. So maybe have to wait for the next season again. Right next to it is a Campanile. I have 2 trees of the Campanile, one here and one here. They both grow super well. At least in terms of the size of the trunk or the amount of leaf it put out this season. But it does have some fig mosaic virus, and not really looking that good. But it seems to be a very strong cold war that seems to be trying to beat the virus. And for this tree, I'm pinching. It already put out some. It already put out figlets, but for some reason I pinching the top because I want to slow down it bigger also, and kind of a experiment because this one, despite it put out fruits, I pinch. But this one, I just leave it alone. I don't want to pinch or anything. So let's see, will it make any difference or just a waste of time? But in any case, this one is really far ahead. It has a figlet, the pea-sized figlets here. And many of the other branches also start to put out figlet also. And this, I'm also excited for this variety because last season it produced like 1 or 2 fruit also, and it was quite unique. The texture is like eating melons, but it has some different flavor. So exciting for this variety and these 2 guys. Okay, on the left, this one is the unknown variety that I have been calling unknown giant California, because mother tree from California and it produce big fruit. That's it, I say again and again. This one, last season it doesn't have a good shape, so I'm trying to fix it up, and that's what I can come up. It's supposed to come out here after I cut the top. It's supposed to be come out one branch here and also another here. But early on I do some work around here, I bump it up and it just lost it. And now it seems to be off balance to a side. Only 3 branches on one side and this side have no branch. But in any case, it already start to put out fruit. Figlet start every node already. I already pinch the top again to slow it down, but I don't know what will it bring. For this variety, I'm kind of I like it a lot. It kind of refreshing, despite it only like just simple of honey type, but I'm like it, and it also produce a big fruit. Speaking of a vigor, this probably the most vigorous tree that I grow this season. Look at how well the tree or how well the leaf. This tree, this leaf, it remind me of the, the fig tree that they grow in California. Look how thick, dark greens, and that's just beautiful. I don't know, this variety is really well. It's a golden rainbow. Last season, I don't have any fruit. It doesn't produce any fruits because I got it late. But this season, I hope to test some of it because I think it's put out a bomb. Not sure it's just a leaf node or a shoot or a real figlet. But I'm really hope for it to produce because I really want to try it. And I already pinch. Right next to it is also a very common variety and probably also overlooked. You know, when it's very common, you find everywhere, seems like not that exciting at all. This one, Olympian, it's a round turkey type, whatever they say. But it produces good, yeah. Its flavor, it's not the most amazing fig that can knock your socks off, but it arrived for me quite well. Despite last season, it not quite productive, but it arrived well despite a lot of rain that it get when it arrived. But I didn't get a chance to do the video about it, so only wait for this season. And so far, so good. Already pinch, but no figlet yet. This nothing new. It's my favorite. Everybody know about it, except the people that doesn't know. This variety, I really wanted to work out because last season it produced some fruit, but again, because it was late, it's not enough heat and it's cool air, it just split. Oh my god! But the fruit side just huge, and I really wanted to try it. And the color also is very nice. But this season, I got a bag. This one, I believe it's a Breva because it's right at the beginning of the growing branch and right at the ground branch. So this is a Breva. I think it produced a few of it, but only one hold on. Anyway, it's already put out the figlet also. And this get me exciting because I want to try it out. One here, another figlet up here, right? Smaller, and another one I see here, down here. So this really well, really good. This baby, I don't pinch it. I just let this grow. This one is a Violette Noir. It's not doing that great either. Slow grower, look lumpy. Since I got it last season, it still look almost identical, not much growing. I also already pinched it. I really want to try this one out. But some of the grower around my area, they're able to ripe it very well. It looks amazing. And that I'm also looking for the next season. Moving on next, this one is an unknown variety. It's just put out a shoot like crazy. Look at this ginormous size of trunk. This one, if you remember, I do it the fig rooting cutting right in the middle of the summer, and it's doing just great, right? Grows a little bit in summer, fall time come, go dormant, and now start to grow again. Just fine, perfectly fine. Next one is one of the exciting variety that I could not eat. What? It's a male fig or a Capri fig, right? And for the sleep, it's special because It's a very well-known male fig that a lot of people that want to breed fig that hope for a common fig seedling. They're using this parent, this father, right? This one a male. I growing this one in hope to do hand pollination. Right on the right hand side, this one is the same unknown giant California. I just separated this one to a 5-gallon tank, 5-gallon pot, and this probably the furthest figlet. They produce the biggest figlet already, and they pull on one another side. On this branch, one figlet here, and this one also one more. So the tree shape is not the most exciting shape, but it do produce really well. Same thing with this tree here. It's I think white Madeira #1. Yes, get great shape when after I separate it from the mother tree. This one get some roots, and now it seems to be start to grow slowly, but it get a great shape in 5-gallon pot also. Next one is Olympian, also get separate from the bigger pot into the 5-gallon pot. They got pink. Hopefully it gets some fruits. On the left, Proto Dome Roja, same thing, but this seems to be slow. Moving down a little bit lower here, it's not the young tree, but it's in last season also. But in any case, it just look like a really tiny tree. This one is a Paracho Ramada. So this one also an exciting variety, and even more exciting, it's already put out figlet. Quite early, this one. Plenty of it already put out figlets. Right next to it is I-258. It was an air layer, but when I start cut it out from the mother tree, it's like very small. And by the way, it's from the 5 years old mature tree. So for the mother tree, it's no longer available because it's dead. I over pruned it earlier in the fall, and I think in the winter you know, and it's already dead. So this is the only left that I have, and I think my viewer 1 or 2 they also got the cutting, and I don't know if they're able to keep them alive. Moving down a little bit, this one is a new variety that I acquired earlier in the winter. I think let me read. This one from the fig hunter. Okay, it usually, if you don't know who fig hunter, they go around in California try to find new fig variety. And this one I think a white Adriatic, and it's quite cheap to acquire this cutting. He get like $5. I don't know. This one Shasta strawberry. I don't know how if I spell it correctly. It's looking good. The fruit is like a dark red, the pulse, and I can't tell you it's gonna be great variety. I don't know, but the look is really good. Look at I like the red branch it has. So let's see what it's going to bring this season. Further back a little bit, it is a Calderona the minor. So this variety is a little different from the regular Calderona. I also got a Calderona cutting that I able to root, but for some reason I lost it back. So that variety that I'm also excited about it. But in any case, I also have a Calderona de minor, not just one, but 2. I got 2 of it, and I'm also looking forward to this one. Might be not this season because it's still small like this, right? But again, next season, all right. Next is a variety from California. It's also a wild seedling that I think Eric, he found it, and he seemed to be enjoy this variety a lot. It's a Feather River. Now, he also stated that This variety is amazing only when it caprified. Without caprification, it's not as exciting, but it's still good. But bear in mind, despite you get them to caprify or whatever, the ideal temperature, the location, whatever, it really have the wow factor to the quality, right? Okay, let's moving on to a smallest. This one I think the smallest cutting. It boysenberry blush. It's a very exciting variety, but as you can see, the tree not that exciting. I don't know it's normal or just my tree, but I really want this variety to work also. It produce ginormous, maybe not that big, that large, green flakes and very nice pulp. Next one is a Paracho Ramada that just recently uploaded. This one is crafted on an unknown, the cutting that I think I do the experiment with, and this one I able to graft it for the first time with the graft budding. So sometimes it's kind of fun to try new thing and doesn't seem to grow amazing well, but it's work. What else I can ask for if it already work. Moving around to this bigger tree, it's the unknown that come from my fig rooting cutting experiment. I use this one, the best cutting that I can find, and it growing. That to me is good. It's healthy, and that's it. That's all I can say. This one, it Smith. Yeah, now I get tiny Smith, no more mature 5 years old tree anymore, because same thing, the 5-year-old I258 and a 5 years old Smith, I managed to kill all of those, and that's the only I have. I think I sent out for the fig giveaway, I sent out one of the Smith. So whoever that receive it, yeah, that the mother tree is no longer here, only the baby tree here. And I think I still have one more backup cutting that that I put out in the garden. I don't know where I put it, but I think I have this one only. That's fine. All right, folks. So for now, I don't have any more 5 years old mature tree. So those two are gone. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk, because I have plenty more tree that I going to enjoy. But it should be a lesson to you if you knew. Don't over prune your tree, okay? Don't over root prune, because you can kill them. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and I'm very excited for this season. I see you next time, and have a great growing season.